This is young blood Cody Blayde, and you're listening to Tapped Out Interviews.
Hello and welcome to Tapped Out Interviews. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin, and we're part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. And I'm very excited today. We have a very special guest. I wanted to get this guy back for a while. He's actually returning second appearance today on the podcast. He's one of the hottest young stars right now on the indie scene. I'm very happy to welcome young blood Cody Blayde. Young blood Cody Blayde, welcome to the show, my man.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, glad to have you back. I know we spoke a few months back. And actually the last time we spoke, you were headed to out to Alberta, where your plan. So you were out there for a few months. What was your experience like out there in Alberta?
That experience was short. I do remember that. I was just getting ready to leave there, and then I went out there and stayed with Massive Damage for a bit and trained with MPW, and I think I did a Northern Death Tour for Tony Condello, and soon after that I came back.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, what was the reason why you went out there again? I was just curious. I know you were in the Maritimes, and did you just want to try something different, or what was the reason that you went out there?
Oh, I always like to go. I don't like to stay in the same spot for too long. But I went back out there because when I left there, I was like, okay, guys, I'm not sure when I'll be back, but I'll be back. They're like, all right, so that's really why I went back with this, because I told everybody that I would be coming back.
Oh, so that was basically the plan all along. You were just going to go out to Alberta, but you were eventually coming back. So before I even left Alberta the first time, I had already set up a place where I was going to stay at when I came back. Okay, there you go, man. There you go. So like you said, you were out there. It was a short time, maybe 2-3 months, I believe you were out there, and you're now back in the Maritime. So how do you compare the wrestling scene in the Maritimes compared to what's going on in Alberta?
It's super different, really. The shows are different. I find, the locker room, there's really like the same kind of family feel, but there's a lot of guys that I didn't actually get to work with in Alberta. I was only down there with, MPW and, PPW, and they ran enough to keep both weekends, but the locker room was super friendly. The shows were, I'm not sure what differences exactly were about them, but They weren't too much, different. Everybody has little, network deals now, so. Okay. I find the ones out west were a little bit more consistent. Like sometimes when you went to certain towns, there's usually like the same draw every time you went to every town. And I find in the Maritimes it kind of fluctuates. I find it fluctuates. Like you're not going to have the same crowd every time. You know, one's going to be a lot more, one's going to be a lot less. And I felt like down there was like everybody was running through Massive at the time. Like everybody was working with him. I don't know what's going out there now. It's been a minute since I've been out there. I see that things have changed. So if I did go back, it'd be interesting to see exactly what's going on behind the scenes right now.
Do you feel did you learn much out there? Do you feel that you've come back to the Maritimes as a better wrestler?
Oh yes, definitely. Well, I think the main thing I learned out there was when I was staying with Massive is he showed me how to eat properly and work out properly, and like when I was living with him, that was when I was my heaviest. So I was like, okay, so I definitely picked something up there, and I think that's what I learned the most out from that trip.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're in tremendous shape. I've been watching some of your matches, but you're in tremendous shape. So like what's your workout regimen like? Do you work out every day, or what? You said you change your diets. Like what kind of foods you eating? But yeah, go ahead. I'll let you.
Well, I just kind of found like honestly, it's nothing too crazy or extreme, which I kind of think it should be right now, but. I just found this this Arnold Schwarzenegger app on my phone. It says do this. I think it's chest and back on Monday, and arms and shoulders Tuesday, legs Monday, and then chest and back, then arms and legs. When it comes to eating, I just kind of eat like oatmeal and chicken. Rice, a lot of rice. When I moved into the spot I'm at now, Dynamite gave me this rice maker, and oh buddy, I've been putting that to use. But I eat super clean. Like, I'll try to eat. I don't like donuts, like all that stuff. You try to eat, my body's like, no, get that out of me. So I don't really eat all that dirty. So keep it clean.
All right.
A lot of oatmeal.
All right, there you go. I try to eat oatmeal. I'm just not a fan of oatmeal. I've tried it. It's just not for me, man.
You're not making it right.
I'm sorry? I'm not cooking it right?
You might not be making it right. What are you putting in with it?
Well, just oatmeal. Sometimes I'll add like blueberries or raspberries or something like that, but I don't know, just not for me,
a couple teaspoons of brown sugar.
That's that. I'll have to try that, man. I haven't added the sugar. I try to keep the sugar out.
Maybe a little bit of maple syrup.
That's a good idea too. I try to keep the sugar out, but maybe I need some sugar. That's what's probably why I don't like it, man.
It tastes pretty gross without it, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, it is pretty awful.
Too much.
It is pretty awful, man. I'll have to try the sugar. So you're back, you're competing, you're back with UCW, NSPW as well. You've come upon your return, you've been wrestling for them. What about IHW? I know before you left you were kind of a mainstay in IHW. Are you going to be back with them as well?
At this point, no.
No, okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. We don't need to go into anything else. But you're doing really well in UCW. If I'm not mistaken, you were the first UCW VIP champion. Is that correct?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So how did it feel being the first holder of that title?
Well, usually I'm modest about things, but I was just did an interview with New Scott. If you guys want to go check that out, it's on newscott.com. And he asked me the same kind of question, and I was like, I don't know, I felt like I won that, and I kind of nodded my head. I guess I put a little bit legitimacy to it, like, oh, new title. All right, well, I have it, so that's what kind of title it is. That's how I felt about it.
All right, yeah. So you're the first champion. Then actually, you lost the belt, unfortunately, to Big T, and a lot of people are saying Big T is a tough guy. Is he really that tough in the ring, Big T? He seems like a big guy,
buddy. Big T is 310 pounds.
Okay.
Oh, buddy, he's a thick dude. I do a lot of traveling with Big T, and I will put that guy over to anybody any day of the week. He does the drives. He's a thick dude. I don't really. It's tough to get in the ring with Big T. He's so big.
Yeah, I mean, during your match, he got down on his knees. He said, I'm going to make it fair. And he got down on his knees during the match. That you should have hit him with a super kick at that point. That would have taken him right out when he was down on his knees. But that was a great match.
I should have had you in my corner.
I'm sorry?
What's that? I said, you said you should have super kicked him.
Super kicked him,
in my corner, buddy.
Yeah, but that was a great match.
I don't think I did end that suplex on him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got great potential. I've had him on the show, and he has great potential. Him and Casey McKay have some good matches, but I think they're aligned now against some UCW stars that are trying to infiltrate the UCW VIP. But yes. you were in the ring. I was watching some matches, a lot of matches that you've been involved in. I was watching on YouTube, and you've been involved with some really good matches. You actually took on one of my favorite opponents. My favorite opponents. I'm not a wrestler, but one of my favorite wrestlers, Evil Uno. I think he's one of the best right now on the indie scene. So tell me about that match. Did you learn anything from that match? What was it like being in the ring with Evil Uno, and how did that match all come about?
That night was actually the same night I wrestled Big T, to be honest.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. That was the same night I got the VIP title. Going in the ring with Evil Uno, I was super excited because, I'd been watching him for a minute. I was like, wow, that's good. I like see him evolve, and I'm pretty sure he came to Wrestle Center way back in the day when he was still just player Uno. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that. And so I was really looking forward to it, and it almost didn't happen. It almost didn't happen. The booker and the promoter. The booker was like, "Yeah, we want you're gonna wrestle him," and then somebody else was like, the promoter he's like, "Oh, but he's on the VIP show. He can't be on there." And then like, dude, I don't know. So yeah, that match almost didn't happen. I learned a lot from that match. Sometimes when I'm going over matches, I go back and I watch that one to see how that one played out to. So I go back to that match for references for future matches. There's only a couple matches I do that too. Him and Burke, I go back to those matches and kind of like watch how things played down to reference to further matches.
Yeah, no, I was going to mention that one. I was watching your match against Burke as well. Burke is one of the best in Canada right now, and that was another tremendous match. I felt you held. I was rooting for you. I wanted you to win that match, but that was another really, really good match. You've had other big matches like with Matt Angel. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite match that you've had?
A favorite match that I've had. There's a couple like highlighted ones, like when I wrestled Massive for my 100th match, or when I wrestled, I think maybe Massive, and when I went 30 minutes with Chris Parrish in Alberta. That's one of my favorites. Or Burke and Uno and Dukes and Brody Steele. Those are, I guess, be my top favorite matches. But I find when I send my matches off, I will send the one with me and Burke or me and Uno, and I usually get back that they like that mine and Burke one the most. I'm like, oh, cool. So that's what I get back from there.
I think the last time,
those are some of my favorite.
I think the last time we spoke, you mentioned that I think you were the Maritimes champion, and Kobe Christ, he won the title. He beat Madison Miles, but he didn't defeat you. And you mentioned that you wanted to get revenge on Kobe Christ. Did you guys ever hook up again, you and Kobe Christ, or you still waiting for that match with Kobe?
I have had a match with Kobe that not many people know about. It is on YouTube.
Okay.
In Cape Breton for ACWA.
Okay.
But me and Kobe have never been one-on-one in a ring. We had a 6-man in Maine for Let's Wrestle. The match where the recent one where Buddy's doing the shooting star press and he lands on the post, and Quan Nicholson. Yeah, we wrestled each other, and we were both a part of the 6-man scramble match in that one. But besides for that, we have not got to have a one-on-one in front of people.
That would be a tremendous match. Hopefully it happens soon. You and Kobe Christ.
I learn a lot from Kobe. He'll be like, I can't. He'll do this thing where he's like, I can't do it, but here's how you do it. Like, I don't understand how it's done, but this is like the mathematics behind it's done. And I'll look at him and be like, you mean like this? And I'll do it, and he'll look at me and he'll tell me he hates me, and then he'll show me something else.
That sounds just like Kobe Christ.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Nah, he's a good guy. I love Kobe. So in your career so far, you've been a heel and a face. Is that correct? You played both roles?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you prefer being a heel or do you prefer being a face?
To be honest, I just like both is a challenge. It's like, what can I get over doing tonight? It's really, I guess being a face is easier to do because it's like, okay, make people like you. But I don't know, it's like either or is just a challenge. But like, go out and do this one. And it's like, all right, how can I do this one to the best of my ability, or how can I do the other one to the best of my ability?
Sure.
I don't really have a preference. I just like the challenge of being able to do both if someone tells me to.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about when you're playing the heel is you like you're in the corner and your opponent backs off and you're like, he pulled my hair or he pulled my tights, and then you look to the crowd and they start booing, and I don't know if seems a little annoying when you keep doing that. Is that what you're going for, to be an annoying heel? Because
you hate it when I do that, don't you?
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, I don't personally hate it, because I know that you do it. You're playing the heel role well there, but I could see how it could get annoying to some fans. But you keep saying he pulled my hair or he poked his finger in my eye, which is and then you look to the crowd, and the crowd is kind of like, hey, he didn't do that. But that's a good job there, playing that heel role.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Those are some old school go-tos, I guess.
Are there any heels that you admire, that you watch from the past, and you're like, oh, I'm going to try what this heel has done? Something that maybe that...
Well, I try to study a lot of people. Shawn Michaels is probably one of the greatest heels to study and watch. There's a real... Yeah, Shawn Michaels is a great heel to watch. Yes.
Okay.
But there's a real great heel, and when you asked me that, the first one that came to mind right now was probably Holden Albright. I don't know if he's a heel or a face, but he seems heelish. And yeah, I don't know. You talking heel, and he just came to mind.
Yeah, no, Holden Albright he's definitely a heel. He's definitely something special. He cuts some terrific promos. A big fan of Holden Albright. So
I like his whole image, like the whole thing he's going for. I think that's super sweet.
Yeah, he's
got the mask going, and I remember Kato was also doing this mask. Like, one has a dog mask, one has like a cat mask, and like they both got the jaw thing that's moving, and it's completely different, but it's like the same kind of mask thing. I was like, but I really like what he's doing with that.
So when are we going to see Holden Albright versus Cody Blayde?
Whenever somebody books it.
Yeah, no, that's I gotta tell you something, man. That was a phenomenal answer. As soon as somebody books it, man, that's probably the smartest answer anyone's ever given to me. Usually people say, oh, hopefully soon, or maybe one day, but plain just from the heart, as soon as somebody books it. That's a great answer there, Cody, man. So if anyone's listening right now, book Cody Blayde versus Holden Albright, because I personally want to see that match, man. So now we said Holden Albright. Is there anybody else that you haven't wrestled yet that you would love to wrestle in the future?
Well, around here, the only people I haven't quite wrestled yet is Mike Hughes or Duke McIsaac. But
okay,
as of I think it'd be sweet to work Darby Allin or wrestle Brett Banks, because he's the only one of the pillars I haven't been in the ring with, so I'd like to check that one off. Right now, that's all I can really think. I'd like to wrestle. I'd like to go west and give a shout out there, Chucky Blaze,
okay.
or what's his name? Jack Pride. Chucky Blaze, Jack Pride from out west.
Okay.
I'd like to wrestle those guys.
I know.
You know who Chucky Blaze is?
I'm not familiar with him, so I'll have to look him up. I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wrestles a lot out west and stuff, and I'm pretty sure he wrestled Braun Strowman on a Raw or something like that.
Okay.
Eli Everfly, or Darby Allin. Yeah.
Okay. I know Aiden Prince and Sheldon Jean, they're coming to UCW. Yeah, have you thought about maybe going one-on-one with one of those guys?
Oh man, that'd be sweet if I got to wrestle one of those guys.
Yeah, that'll actually...
I know I've seen Sheldon, at a couple places. I think he came to Quebec once, and I think I seen him in Ontario somewhere. But I've heard a lot about Aiden, but I've never got the chance to meet him.
Yeah, no, Aiden's a good guy. I talk to him a lot, and he's definitely a future superstar. I think you versus either of those two guys would be a phenomenal match.
If I hear a lot of great things about Aiden from Kobe, so he must be good.
Aiden Prince is actually really good, as is Sheldon Jean. Now you're a high flyer, and I notice that you do a lot of high risk maneuvers or high risk moves. Do you ever worry about injuring yourself or possibly injuring your opponents when you do those moves?
Well, in the match, that's the point, is to get your opponent down.
Yeah.
So you got to do whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
but as for injuring myself, no, I'm not too worried about that. Or I wouldn't be able to do the moves.
Yeah, that's right.
I find.
That's right. Is there a lot of practice that goes, do you have to practice, like, you're diving over the top rope and, you're doing, do you need to practice on those moves a lot, or?
I do a lot of, I found that, a crash mat, and the only real crash mat that I've been accessible to is at CWF. So a lot of the times when I go to Ontario and work for CWF, I go to their Chris Thorne's school, and he's got a crash mat there. And whenever I get the chance, I just do all kinds of stuff. And I figure out if I can do it and not land on my head, then I can do it in a match. Because you don't want to be trying that stuff for the first time in a match. You know, you want to have it. You want to know how to do it. Yeah,
you want to have it down packed, because you can really injure yourself if you don't practice. If you tried the first time, you miss it.
So I learned a lot of maneuvers at Chris Thorne's. I can almost tell you what I learned where. I think the first time I did a backflip from the outside, I did it at Chris Thorne's, like from the middle rope, Isai. That was at Chris Thorne's. And the first time I ever did that inside out moonsault was at Chris Thorne's. But, yeah.
All right, man. So you were actually in the States recently, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it was for Let's Wrestle. Is that correct? Was I?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. So how did
I went down? All right. This is how that ended up going down. Big T, Jeff James, and I think it might have been Dwight, or not Dwight, Backwoods, were going down one weekend for Jason Rumble's promotion. And I said, is there a spot in the car? And, they said, yeah. And I asked if I could come. There's no problem with it. So I jumped in the car, and, Sidewalk Slam was also in that car. That's who I wrestled that night for Jason. And, somebody was coming to the show that worked for Let's Wrestle or had a part of it. I think it was, the guy from the Mean Street Posse, Benji. Big shout out to that guy for helping us out. We went to dinner afterwards, and he started talking about how there was a training thing the next night, and I was like, oh, boys, training, let's go to training. And then we were all about to do it, but then we realized if we did, we'd have to be coming back, we'd get back to Nova Scotia at like 4 a.m. on a Monday, and 3 out of the 5 guys had to work, so I was a little bummed out about it, because I was not the one that had to work. Even if it was, I wouldn't have cared. But after we told him we couldn't make that, he's like, well, we're doing a Let's Wrestle thing in a few weeks, if you guys want to come down to that. And we said, sure. We weren't sure who we were going to take, so who was all coming with us? It was me and Jeff, Big T. We're like, well, who should we bring with us? We called a couple people, and I called up Lincoln Steen. I said, well, what are you doing? He's like, I'm not doing a whole lot. I said, you want to come to the States and wrestle? He's like, oh, I definitely do. Got him out of his house, because I know he's like been doing this dad thing. And then we told Benji had heard of Covey Christ, so we asked Covey if he wanted to come. And so we all went down there, and who was it there? Retro Anthony Green was there, giving a seminar, and he showed us a couple things, and we all started chaining around, and that's how we got down there.
So what was the road trip like? It was just a car full of wrestlers. Buddy,
that road trip. On the way down, it wasn't too big of a deal. But if you ask somebody else, they might tell you a different question. Different answer. But on the way back, it was a bad snowstorm. Like, it was really, really bad. Some of the guys didn't even go to the second taping because the roads were so bad. So we had no choice but to go. Yeah, we went to the second show, and then we drove home from there. And once we got to the border, it was all right. But as soon as we got across the Canadian side of the border, the road was a complete sheet of ice. Like you couldn't barely stand on the thing. So we had Steen driving, and we're on the highway right now doing 40. Like it's an automatic, but he's shipped down to like first gear or something like that.
Sure.
And we're going 40 on the highway, and there's like nobody on the highway. But the whole time, man, we were like fishtailing in the middle of the highway. So you'd seen Steen jerk it one way, and then all the way to the next, and all the way to the next. Man, I thought we were going in the dish so many times.
Oh man.
So I remember we were like trying to go behind the snowplow, or salter, or whatever it was doing.
Sure.
And we could see the snowplow in front of us, like swerving all across the road because it was so slippery. Eventually, Steen pulled over because he needed a cigarette. I remember Jeff was sitting in the back, and every time, Jeff is super tall, right? So every time he'd go to sit up, he'd grab a seat, and it was about 5 times. Steve was like, "If you touch my seat again, I would break your." No, he was getting a little hot. So we got out, and as he's having a smoke, I was able to run up the middle of the highway and slide for like 10 feet, just in my shoes, and then I'd like go to run, and I'd like fall running to do it again. I must have did it like 10 times. I was having a blast. So we got back in, and then we went to the closest Tim Hortons, and we went inside, and we looked up the road conditions because we didn't want to drive anymore. And apparently the road that we had been driving on for like the last 4 hours the highway was closed.
Oh wow.
So we shouldn't yeah. And I remember we slept at the Tim Hortons for like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
Felt like we were back on a CWF tour, just sleeping at Tim Hortons. And then eventually, we stayed there till some ice melted, and then we drove home. But it took us longer to get from the border to St. John than it did to take us to get from St. John to Halifax. We're roughly the same time.
Wow. Wow, man. So that's a smart move pulling over. And I was going to say, you were in the middle of the highway running up and down, sliding 10 feet. I was going to say, if there are any cars, but I guess the roads were closed, so you were the only car on the highway, so you're able to do that on the highway. But yeah, I'm glad you guys, smart move stopping there at the Tim Hortons. So I'm sorry, you stayed there all night, or you stayed there for a few hours, or how long did you?
Just a few hours, yeah.
Few hours, okay. Anyway, we'll take a. All right. So, what were the crowds like? I know I asked you earlier comparing Alberta to the Maritimes, but the U.S. crowds to the Canadian crowds. Is there much of a difference? Would you say, or?
The people there are different. I don't know. Yeah, they were a little different because I felt like when I went out there, I found it hard to get any reaction. I don't know. I tried my best to get what reaction I could, but I think the fact that like they didn't know me or had never seen me before or had no clue who I was, it made it slightly difficult. But I was like, oh, maybe it just can't be done. And then Kobe hit Buddy with the crazy clothes on. He got a reaction. I was like, all right, I need to do something else.
All right, man. Cool. So you're going to be back in the States anytime soon? Are you going to be going back down there?
Yes. I think I got 4 more bookings in the States.
4 more bookings, wow. With the same promotion or different promotions?
One's with the same and 2 are different. Yeah, I have 4.
All right.
Going down for Bo Douglas and for Rumble, and I think we're going back down for Let's Wrestle.
All right, man. That's really good.
Stay tuned to find out.
Okay, man. We're gonna stay tuned. Congratulations on that, man. That's pretty cool. So what about Ontario? Are you coming out to Ontario? Any interest on the promoters out here and bringing you in by chance?
Yeah. I always like to go work for Chris Thorne.
Okay.
But there's nothing anytime soon. There is something that isn't announced yet, so I'm not going to announce it.
No. If it's not announced yet, keep it quiet. We won't. Don't need to announce it now. But yeah, I'm like, it's huge out here. The wrestling scene. You got Destiny, you got Smash, you got PWA. Actually, Kobe Christ. I'm actually going to see my first live Kobe Christ match in a few weeks. He's going to be at PWA in Kitchener. There's Crossbody Wrestling. There's Seaway Valley Wrestling just started up. So it's huge out here. I'd love to see.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see a live Cody Brown match. Oh geez, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. Cody Blayde. I'm looking at Facebook and I see the name. I apologize. I could edit that out if you like. But Youngblood Cody Blayde. I want to see my first Youngblood Cody Blayde match, and hopefully you'll be coming out to Ontario soon.
Yes, it'd be sweet to finally meet you, buddy.
Yeah. That'd be really cool. Like I said, a lot of opportunity out here. So I want to get your thoughts on All Elite Wrestling. It's Kenny Omega. We found out he just signed. They got the Lucha Brothers. What are your thoughts? Do you think WWE has anything to worry about with All Elite Wrestling?
I'm not I don't know. It's exciting to watch develop because maybe it's like the modern day WCW, and maybe for really good guys who don't exactly get signed to WWE go to All Elite Wrestling. It's a very cool thing to watch manifest. There's money there. People might not like that style of wrestling compared to normal old school wrestling, but I find it's interesting to develop on. It's interesting to see who's putting it together and how they're putting it together, and where those people have come from to get where they are right now, like the Young Bucks, how they were to see where the Young Bucks started, and to see where they got, and to see where they went with their, what they've gained over the years, and to see Cody Rhodes be a part of it too. The fact that when he was Stardust and how he left there, and it's just really interesting to see all of those guys come together and do something. So Cody, and the impact that it's going to have.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward. It's going to be, they're definitely going to sell out the 12,000 seat arena for Double or Nothing, so it's going to be a great show. But Cody Rhodes says that he's looking for fresh, young talent. So if Cody Rhodes gave you a phone call today, do you think you'd be ready for All Elite Wrestling?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'd get ready real quick, let me tell you.
Yeah, there you go.
I put my pants right on.
And I know they're bringing in a lot of, unknown indie talent. You never know. You might get a phone call from Cody Rhodes sooner or later. I could definitely.
Oh wait, I gotta go. It's him calling me right now.
Okay, all right. Actually, you tell him you can't talk because you're talking to Lewis Carlin. Tell him Tap Down interviews is more important than All Elite Wrestling. No, that'll be great, man. That'll be great. So what year did you debut? Was it 2017?
What's that?
Well, your debut year. You debuted in 2017?
My first match?
Your first match, yeah.
I started wrestling in 2013.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why am I thinking 2017? 2013. So the question I'm going to ask is, what do you think the main differences are between Cody Blayde in 2013 compared to Cody Blayde today?
Everything, I would like to say.
Okay.
When I had my first match, I was not fully trained yet. We were training. It's funny, the building that I trained in the building that Gary had his school in, his second or third school, they were in the same building. It was just on the other side of the wall.
Okay.
We were training in an MMA facility called, 374 MMA, and we had the ring, and everybody was doing their boxing thing. And I had only been training there for maybe a little over a month, and the trainer was like, "We're gonna have a show." I was like, "I'm not ready for a show, man. I'm not ready for a match." He's like, "Yeah, you'll do fine." I was like, "All right." And then we had so I think my first match was in June of 2013. So maybe less than a month I was training.
Okay.
And I would like to think I am completely different than the guy that was in that match.
Okay. All right, man. Cool. Well, like I said, you're doing a tremendous job. I'm watching your matches on YouTube. If anyone's listening right now, just check out Youngblood Cody Blayde. Go to YouTube, type in his name, Evil Uno, Marcus Burke, Dick Durning. You had some good matches with as well. So definitely, if you're listening now, check out Youngblood Cody Blayde on YouTube. It's just excellent
like
matches.
Every time Dick Durnin retires, he wrestles a guy named Cody in the Halifax Forum.
There you go. I know. Wrestle Center was Cody Rhodes and Cody
Yeah. I remember he retired from, wrestling right before he came back for a bit, and he wrestled Cody Rhodes for Wrestle Center and stayed at the Stardust Hotel.
Oh, wow. Is that a coincidence, or did he plan it that way? There was a plan?
No, that was a complete coincidence. Okay. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
And then when he retired this time, he wrestled Cody Blayde at the Halifax Forum for UCW.
There you go, man. There you go. So we mentioned you were in the States. You wrestled in the States. Are there any other countries that you'd like to hope to wrestle in, like maybe Mexico or possibly out in Japan or in the UK?
I would like to wrestle in every country I could possibly get to. Okay. I'd really like to go to all those places, England, Mexico, Japan, to like learn that kind of style and just get better. Really, even if I could just go over to those places and learn, just stay at a training place for however long. Even if I didn't have a match, the fact that I was learning, it would be even sweet. But the opportunity to get a match, that'd be really amazing.
Yeah, I think you would be, I definitely could see you competing out in Japan. There's a lot of, you have Pro Wrestling Noah, you have All Japan Pro Wrestling, you got New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think you would fit in perfectly in any of those promotions. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see you out there in Japan, within any time in the next few years for sure, man. And you're still young too. You're under 25, if I'm not mistaken, right?
22.
22. Wow. And that's incredible. And you're so talented right now, and to think how more talented you're going to be 5 years from now. So definitely.
By the time I was 21, I'd managed to wrestle in every province in Canada.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Actually, I'm just off the top of my head right now. I think another guy I think you would have a great match with, and it might have already happened. You and Kobe Durst. If we won one with Kobe Durst, I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I seen Kobe. It was like those top 10 charts that people should look out for, and he was on the last one. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think that would be a tremendous match for you and Kobe Durst.
He's got a crazy look. His energy, just from it's like he can feel his energy from the picture. The way his hair is, the way his. Yeah,
dude, I met Kobe Durst, and he's the nicest guy you could ever meet. He just comes across as a nice guy, but once he steps in the ring, boom, it flips, the on switch goes on, and he becomes an absolute killer, man. But
I think I watched his match at Crossbody with Freebeard. I think Freebeard was in a match with him, and I think I watched that match.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, what do you think 2019? I know we're already in February, but what are your main goals for 2019? What do you hope to accomplish by the end of the year?
Sign up for college, to be honest.
Okay. Gotta have that backup plan, man. Of course.
That is true. 2019 is. I'm not sure what's going to happen this year. Okay. I want to get up to 190 pounds. That'd be pretty sweet.
Okay.
I'd like to maybe go some places where I haven't been before. Do new things. I've done a fair bit of stuff. So 2019, I want to say that I did even more things.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. So. Before we wrap this up, on March 1st, you're going one-on-one with Dynamite Dylan Davis, in Riverview, if I'm not mistaken. And Dynamite Dylan Davis found out you were going to be on today, and he actually gave me a message to give to you, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to let you respond to Dynamite Dylan Davis, okay?
Okay.
This is a quote from Dynamite Dylan Davis. and he's directing it to you. So he says, you better have your sea legs because on March 1st in Riverview, the waters are going to get really rough. It's a good thing you got those rainbow chiclets. I'm not sure what that means, but that you got those rainbow chiclets because I'm going to knock your teeth right out of your head. And that's from Dylan Davis. So I'll let you respond to that.
Buddy, we're not talking about Skittles or swimming or boats or fishing. We're talking about wrestling, Dynamite. And you can say all your funny, goofy words you want, but none of that is going to matter what I'm wearing or what paddle you're holding, because when I leave that ring, I'll be leaving with the NSPW Maritime title. And that's all I have to say about that. So you better do your push-ups and you better do your oar swims because, buddy, you're going to need more than sea legs to beat me.
All right, man. There you go. Awesome stuff, man. And I'm actually interviewing Dylan Davis probably a little later today. And I'll talk to you after we're done. Maybe you can give me a little message to give to Dylan Davis, and I'll have him respond as well. I got to be fair, just he got a message, so I'll get a message from you when we're done here. But before we wrap it up, there anything you want to plug? I think you mentioned sort of video where you have a T-shirt available now. Do you want to plug the T-shirt or any social media that you want to plug before we wrap this up?
Sure. March 1st, you can see me in Riverview wrestling Dynamite Dylan Davis for the NSPW Maritime title. And then on March 2nd, you can see me at the Halifax Forum for UCW. And then you can, where else am I? Go follow me on Instagram at Cody Blayde Wrestling or Twitter at Cody Blayde, or go like my Facebook page at Youngblood Cody Blayde. Oh yeah, and if you'd like to purchase a T-shirt, you can inbox me and I will send it to you. Or if you're in Nova Scotia, you can head on over to the Highfield Pharmacy. Pick up your T-shirt there.
All right, there you go, man. Awesome, man. Awesome. that was actually really good the way you did that, man. But anyway, Cody, I want to thank you for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure having you on. I know we were trying to, hook up for some time, and I'm glad we were able to, hook up today. And, just be thankful that I fractured my knee, so I was able to find some time today. But
that's not good.
No, I know. It just, it's a silver lining. I fractured my knee, but I get to interview, Cody Blayde today. So that's, makes me feel,
well, everybody would.
Makes me feel good. So yeah, anytime you want to come back, man, all you gotta do is let me know, and I'll always be happy to talk to you, and I wish you nothing.
Alright, just let me go move to Alberta and back, and then we can talk again.
Yeah, we'll talk again. Or you can come to Ontario. Or you could come to Ontario and move back, and we could have a chat about that as well. So, other than that, I just want to wish you nothing but the best luck for the future, and good luck against Dynamite Dylan Davis on March 1st. And until next time, man, thanks a lot for coming by. And anytime you want to come back, like I said, you're always welcome, man.
Thank you very much. I'll be back soon.
Okay, absolutely. You heard that. Yeah, I'm going to hold you to that, man. Youngblood Cody Blayde will be back soon.
All right.
He'll be back soon. Okay, everyone. So until next time, I'm Lewis Carlin. This has been Tapped Out Interviews. Again, I want to thank my guest, Youngblood Cody Blayde. And again, until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.